Hi there. This talk is about setting up a new mission in Bundleverse. We will start with one of the established missions. As I said, we will take it as a starting point, and we will walk through this workflow which explains how to set up a new mission in Bundleverse. Now, when you log in Bundleverse, you are going to land on the missions page. On the top of this missions page, you have a title, you have some short description of that mission, some keywords. I'll leave them outside the scope of this talk. I'll explain it in another talk. The start date tells you when this mission has started, and the last login date shows you when the owner of this mission has committed these datasets, has committed some datasets to this mission last time. And the progress number indicates how many times the owner of the mission has committed the data or the records to this mission. The graph below illustrates how this number, the progress number, evolves through time. And further down, the launch button is to launch a new mission, the download. With this button, you can download your data from the remote server, and the delete button will erase all your data sets accumulated through this mission. It will erase all your data sets on the remote server. Cool. Let's move to the design page. The design page is where you basically structure, where you design your mission, where you make decisions about what kind of indicators you would like to log through this mission, what kind of goals you would like to achieve through this mission. And it's made out of a bunch of tables, each table associated with some specific property. And the lines in these tables are features which describe those properties. Like, for example, this is the weather table, and we have temperature, humidity, pressure, and so on. There's a bunch of other records which describe weather during the course of our mission. Now, you can see here some APIs in those cells mentioned, but those APIs and how to set up them, again, all this stuff is outside the scope of this talk. I will leave them aside, and we will leave those cells empty in our example, which I will be showing a bit later. If we talk about fitness as another example, we may talk about the number of hours we walk per day, the number of hours we run per day, we sleep per night, and so on. So it's easy, straightforward. You can add new tables here, of course, with your own titles. You can update and modify or remove existing tables and features. And once you have done with all these changes, with all these updates, you click on the Save button. It will save this new design for your new mission. Just make sure that your new mission has a new title, because if you are using the title from the earlier mission to save this new design, it will override your earlier records. Another point to mention here is that when you're designing those tables, make sure you click on the Save button on the regular basis so that you don't lose large chunks of your work, because there might be some complaints about the data formats or the style of the data you are entering into the system. Cool. Let's move on. Let's take a default mission, which is relatively simple, easy to play with. Let's take it as a starting point, and let's make a new mission starting from this default mission. First of all, we have to specify a new title for this mission to make sure that we don't override this established mission, which is default mission. So what do we call it? New mission. Not very creative, but easy to understand. And once we have given a new title to this mission, we click on the Launch button. The next step is to go to the design button and actually put some structure. Oops, that's the wrong button to click. Let's add a new table to this mission. Let's call it fitness. It will have, let's say, a couple of indicators. We are going to write here. One of those will be push-ups, push-up. We specify the units. We will be measuring push-ups in numbers. That's the number units. The minimum number of push-ups per day is 0. The maximum we may have, let's be ambitious, it's 100. And as for the target, we are going to achieve, well, I would rather be quite modest here. Let's set it to 20 push-ups per day, and I'm comfortable with this level of exercise. Now the type of the data, we have to specify what kind of data what kind of values we are entering here, and those values are numbers. We are going to write up the number of push-ups, and the numbers in bundle views are represented as a text type. Okay. There is another type of data in bundle views, which is called, the type is called radio. In this case, you can enter either zeros or ones into this system, and this type of data is for radio buttons. All other types of data is called text. Whether it's digital data or string, you still call them text type. Okay, let's move on. And we are going to record also number of hours we sleep through night during the mission, and it will be in hours. The minimum number of hours is, I guess, 0. The maximum number, let's make it 12. And the target value, that will be 8. And again, the type of the data we're entering here is text. Cool. And I leave the rest of the cells empty because we are not going to touch on APIs and those accumulator stuff. We leave it to another talk. So we have new design for our new mission. We click on the Save button. We have this new mission. That's the title of new mission we have. And we have this design for this, our great new mission, exciting mission. Mission Impossible. Let's go to the log pad and log some data sets here. Click on Submit button. Change the number, click Submit number again, another change, click on Submit button. And you see here the Save button. With the Save button you can save some data sets without committing them to the system, so that later on you can update those data sets or enter new values and then submit them later. And it might be useful sometime. For example, if you are logging some data sets one day and next day early morning you would like to update, or you would like to record, for example, number of hours you slept through the day, and this number of hours you would like to be combined with some data sets you have recorded earlier yesterday, so you can do it through this Save button. You save data sets one day and you submit. You update some records here and submit it to the next day. Okay. Cool. Now, once we have logged it several times, we can go to the View button and analyze our data sets. It's a spider plot. We have some curves. We can analyze some stats about our data sets, which is fairly limited record. Those stats are meaningless for this example. And the visualization and the description of the data sets, there will be a separate talk we talk about. For now, let's go back to our missions. Default mission. We have updated this mission page. Let's have a look on the missions list. That's our new mission. Okay, and let's assume that we have completed this mission. We are happy with the outcomes of this mission, and now we are going to terminate this mission and maybe start a new mission from scratch, or maybe continue some other mission. And we would like to download all the data sets for this mission to our local machine. we click on the download button. You see here, it's downloading all our data sets to our local machine. And once we got all our data sets to ourselves, we click on the delete button, click, and what happens? The new mission is going to be deleted on the remote server. What does it mean? It means that now only one person owns your data set, and that's yourself. Now your data has been left on the remote machine. You are the only and the true owner of the data sets you have collected through this mission. Let's have a look on. It still shows new mission, but if you refresh this page, let's refresh this page. And now click on it, you see this new mission is gone. It doesn't exist on the remote server. You own your data sets. And that's it. That's all I wanted to talk during this presentation. Thank you for your time. Take care. Bye.